bodies of light, the seekers, the sojourners of truth, the 144 chosen of the chosen few, and you know who you are. I greet you as always in the love that lights from my heart to yours. I am Celestial Earth, reporting to you live from the 5D, right? Always from the divine energy essence of it all within the 5D. Always in 5D. Never know where else to be. So today is it's a 888, y'all. 888 portal. So happy 888 portal. And this is really like a trinity of infinity, right? Through the receptive completion, which I'm going to speak on. So I'm going to give it some time for you all to come in. I should have had some music playing this. I said I'm going to go ahead and do live. I was going to do a video, but I haven't done live, I think, since last week. So I said, let me go ahead and share this 888 portal with you all live. So portaling through. Welcome, whoever is coming through into the chat. I see, can I see? Let me make sure I can see. If you're there, let me know. I do see someone has made it through, but I don't know who, and it's not showing me at the bottom, so you probably got to make a comment or something like that. Either way, let me get right into this infinite, this 3 times, because this is 3 times this has happened this month. This is major. 888 times 3. So let me give you the 3 times. One is on the 8th day, 888. The next one is peace, love and light. I see 724. Peace and light. Welcome in. So the 888 on that day, then you have on the 17th, that is another 888, because 7 and 1 is 8. And now you have today on the 26th, because a 2 and 6 is what? 8, right? And that's the number that has been playing for me, that has been activating what is going on in the halls of a mentee and all that. It was on July 26th, so the 2-6 that was highlighting that 8 for me. But right now in August, in this month, these are the 3 888 portals, and the 8 because of the month, the 8 because of what the day equals, and the 8 because of what the year equals. And so that has happened 3 times this month. Next year it'll be happening 3 times in September, right? Last year it happened 3 times in July because it was a 7 universal year. So if you kind of follow the pattern like that, you'll see where it's going. But this 888 is really important. I got some messages. I'm here. I'm going to share the downloads with you. I'm oracling. I'm in my oracle, debut here. We're in the crown to bring you the messages straight off, hot off the press, as I got it today, sitting in meditation about what this 888 portal has been highlighting to us. So before I get into that, let me make sure I explain what the portal is. For those who don't know, the portals are energetic hotspots. And as I always say, it's not really so much about the day of the portal. It's really about your pre-portaling work. What have you been doing in your soul leading up to the portal is what determines how you are going to portal through, how you are going to get what you need to get for you, attain what you need to attain, release what you need to release, all of that, face what you need to face in the portals. They're energetic hotspots that are meant to help bridge us into something in our soul's ascension if we so choose to, right? Because everything is free will and choice. So this 888 is really highlighting so much. There's the halls of a mentee. There's everything that was happening this month. There's the infinite, as you've heard me speaking about, regaining infinite access to our infinite existence. All of this plays a part in that. And I've asked some questions from those who come through, my people in them, the galactic people that come through, in regard, not really a lot, just a main question of, okay, what happens to the people that have taken this opportunity? Because it's an opportunity, you can either take it or leave it, but what happens to those people? And I got some answers for that, so I'm gonna share that with you. So right now, and if you have any questions while you're here, feel free to jump on in, give a question, a comment, any, because that's why I live, right? To communicate, to connect with you in live action. So with that, let me give you I'm gonna go ahead and read and the download as it came, share with you as it was transcribed, and we're gonna go into it from there. So knowing that this is the Trinity of Infinity through a receptive completion, as the three of the eights, it's 888. So as there are three of the eights, which add to 24, if you add them all up, that reduces to six as a code six. And that is a six-dimensional main gate portal, right? And I've spoken about that before. There are three main gate portals, the 3, the 6, and the 9. That's why the 369 is so important, because it is three-dimensional main portal gates. The 3 is the gate of creative completion. It's like there's a completion at each one. So there's a creative completion, the receptive completion at 6, and then the spiritual completion at 9. So this day adds up to 26, which reduces to 24, which reduces to 6, right? This day, to go in on what this day is about, this is a reflection of the creative completion, which is 3, of infinite existence, the 8, that have, we are to have to regain access through the charge of light codes or angles of light coming from our spiritual sun, Sirius, right? Through the sun in Leo, which activated specific coordinates while walking through the halls of Amenti to be armored with tools to break the illusions which have held all in their karmic infinite loops, right? And what that's saying ultimately is just letting us know this is a reflection time. These 888, especially this one is the last one for this month, is truly a reflection. It's a reflection of that creative completion. That's why it's 3 of them. What is a creative completion? It's a creative completion of the infinite access, the infinite existence that we are. We already have, we already are an infinite being. But we come into this plane and we lose connection on purpose, rightfully so, come into the sea of forgetfulness to be a part of the remembering, right? So it's to regain access to that, because the problem is part of us losing connection and losing access is because of the infinite loop that we have been entrapped in. Even before we've come here, lifetimes prior, we come here with some of our karmic trauma, and we come here to remove that trauma. That's why we come here to face the karmic trauma, to do our karmic work, not because of a payback, as some people say, like, oh, you deserve that payback. You deserve it because you served it. You deserve it because you came as a spiritual being to be served what you deserve, which is to have your karma be able to face it and help you to find a pattern to unlock out of the karmic loop to regain access to your infinite existence. So it is here for us, is to have a reflection and help us to regain access, which were happening through the light codes that we've been getting, through that spiritual sun, through the sun in Leo that you've been hearing me talk about on previous things, that lights up specific coordinates for us, for those of us who have been intentionally and purposefully walking through the halls of Amenti, to be armored with tools of breaking the illusions. The halls of Amenti is intentional for breaking illusions. It's a hall filled with mirrors. If you haven't already looked it up, please look up and do your research on the halls of Amenti. It is a hall that is filled with mirrors, because the mirrors are to be a reflection to show you your illusions. It is like pop-up mirrors that are to show you this is an illusion. This that you find to be so true in life is an illusion, right? And it's the illusions which have held all, including myself, no one is exempt, all in their karmic infinite loops to whatever degree it has been set for you, right? By yourself in your infinite loops that they have inclined, meaning it's what you have inclined to in your soul's inclination, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. It's not just this lifetime. Your soul has inclined to each of these karmic, every fixture in your karmic infinite loop. It's according to the degree of your soul. It's according to what your soul has been doing. That's your soul's incline, right? Listen to this part. It has been according to their will to hold on to the images designed by the fears in the protective custody of their ego, which have built a nation, the image of a nation. It is according to their image's design. Let me say that again. Those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. It has been according to their will to hold on to the images designed by the fears in the protective custody of their ego, which have built a nation, meaning it has built your life, world, and affairs based on images that were held in these spheres through the ego's protective custody. Because the ego's, and that we are wired, our ego is a hard wire within us that is built to protect us. However, when we don't revisit that protection that outdoes its warranty, that ego, that protective ego, becomes a wall, or it becomes a world of illusions, because it has built a narrative to protect you by any means necessary. That's why we have to remove them. So it is an image of a nation. Let me say that again. Custody in their ego, which has built a nation. This image of a nation in the sense conscious, which is known as Egypt, right? I got to get into that, and I will. It's known as sense consciousness. Due to a mind state of lack in consciousness, which is known to you as famine in the land, meaning that's what that little story in Moses is all about. There's a whole metaphysical breakdown that I usually give about that for us to really understand how we play a part in our demise. Because when you believe there is famine in the land, as the story says, the land represents consciousness. So when you believe there's famine in the land, you believe that there's a lack. That means you are in a mind state. In your consciousness, you are in a mind state of a lack. You believe in lack in whatever way that is, right? I just saw 1155. As soon as I saw that, master number 11, master number 55, right? Which 11 is that spiritual awakening. So wake up, wake up, wake up, even though I don't do wake up calls. And 5 is like that master number of change. So wake up and change, right? We believe that we're in a land of famine. So where is it in your consciousness that you are feeling like you have a lack of something, whatever it is? The lack of a job, the lack of a person, the lack of love, the lack of all of this that you feel that you are lacking, when in reality, all of that is an illusion, because you have an abundance of everything. The earth is yours and the fullness thereof, and this earth is filled with abundance. But when we choose to be in a mind state of lack, we believe in famine, and therefore we go looking into Egypt. Egypt metaphysically represents sense consciousness, material world, the world that is only built on sense consciousness of how we sense things in the material world, right? So when we believe that we end up in Egypt, and we end up under the bondage of Pharaoh. Pharaoh is the ruler of sense consciousness. You are the Pharaoh in your own soul unfolding journey when you are holding on to those images that I spoke of, right? Let me go back to that. I want to really tie this together, okay? Those images that are designed by the fears, and those fear-based thoughts come from that mind state of lack. When you're in a mind state of lack, then you will have fear-based thoughts that tells you you don't have this or that, right? So the images that you have in your mind are designed by the fear-based thoughts that are in the protective custody of the ego. That is your Pharaoh in your soul that holds firmly to these fears and holds firmly to these material things in sense consciousness, because you've put your identity in sense consciousness. You've put your being, you've put your emotions, you've put everything into sense consciousness. Now your ruler, which is Pharaoh in you, will not let your people go. Who are your people? The people metaphysically represent your spiritual thoughts. Your spiritual thoughts cannot be free because they are in bondage to the sense consciousness. They are in bondage to Egypt. They are in bondage to your Pharaoh that is within you, that is only your, all of this is you. All of this is your consciousness. Every single character in that story is you, including Moses. Moses is the prophet in you. But will you let your prophet lead you out? Or will you be like the stubborn ones who took the spoils of Egypt with them? Right? You can't take that with you. You're straddling the fence if you do that. You cannot take the comforts and the conveniences that you want to have in sense consciousness with you. When you leave Egypt, which is sense consciousness, you leave all that behind. So when you take the spoils, what that means is you're taking the benefits. What are the benefits? Because see, some of us don't like Egypt, but we like the benefits. Let me say that in our language. Some of us don't like the government and this and this and that, but we like the benefits. What are the benefits? The holidays. How many of y'all complain about the way government doing things and oh, this is fake and oh, I want to get out the matrix, but as soon as the next holiday come around the corner, you're invested. And you got all kind of excuses for why you're invested. I'm being honest. When you leave sense consciousness, you leave them with their holidays, aka holy days, because that's how they ring you in. You leave the illusions behind, those illusions that have you believing in lack, you leave all of that behind. But what happens is out of a fear of lack, you want to run with your profit, you want to free your spiritual thoughts, but you still have fears. So you want to take some of those spoils with you because you're afraid if I go over there, I'm not going to have that. If I go and be spiritual over there, I'm not going to have that fun that I'm used to having. I'm not going to be able to have fun with my friends and family the way I want to. That's comfort. That's convenience. And dare I say it, it is demon dancing because the demons are the unhealed wounds. So you are demon dancing with those who have unhealed wounds as well. You're having one big fest and essentially don't want to leave Egypt because you believe there's a lack. If you go over there and it's away from your family, you then feel a lack. Instead of understanding that there's an abundance in the world, and if you go over there, there is more family over there that is really for you. There's your soul tribe. There's your galactic tribe. There's your starseed tribe. They're all over there waiting for you, but you will not find them because you are stuck in sense consciousness. You are stuck in the physical illusions of separation, the physical illusions of polarities of a this and a that, a this or that, when it's really everything. Instead of this or that, it's this and that. But we got to know that it's all of that, right? Ashe, Ashe. All right, I'm gonna keep it going. This is what was coming up. I'm giving you a little bit extra, but this is what was coming up, right? And the next part of this was saying that this Trinity of infinity has appeared. And feel free to chime in, y'all. We living and we vibing. So feel free to vibe in on the live and chime in. Does this resonate with you? Is it something that you feel you are moving towards? Walking out of sense consciousness. Have you even thought of it like that? You know, however it rolls up for you. This Trinity of infinity has appeared 3 times, as I said, 3 times this month, 3 times to solidify the creative completion within this month as per our design, meaning how we see a month is what was shown to me, as per our design, to bring to the attention triple times the threefold of the soul and its responsibility to gain its access to the infinite existence, right? To gain its access to the infinite existence that already is in its isness in time. So basically all that's saying is this whole trinity of infinity, the 888, is appearing 3 times to solidify, boom, 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 solidify this creative completion. 3, again, is creative completion. So not only is it a trinity as in a creative completion of the infinite existence, but it happening 3 times is another level of the creative completion of what you are to be attaining, if you are attaining what you are to be attaining, right? That is within this month, to bring our attention to this 3 times. It's like 3 times, triple times. You know how they say 3 times a charm. If you didn't get it the first 2 times, here's a 3rd time for you to check in and have this kind of reflection. Check into the threefold of the soul, because that's what the Trinity is. The Trinity is your threefold of your soul: superconscious, conscious, and subconscious, right? Or the mother, father, child, however you want to look at it. Mother, father, son, mother, father, child. The masculine, feminine energy that brings forth the 3rd party, the creative, the creation, right? The harmony of duality plus the creation is the Trinity, right? So This is what's happening on knowing the threefold of the soul and its responsibility to regain its access. As I said, of the isness that's already is there in time, right? It is to restore the soul's purpose in the light of awareness, meaning being aware, restoring your purpose of what you are aware of, and redirect the obedience to the soul's unfolding journey through due diligence of faith in the emerging consciousness, right? So it is to have some type of restoration. What we're doing is we're restoring our soul. We're restoring our soul by regaining access. We are restoring our soul's purpose. We are remembering who we really are by breaking these illusions. And when you break these illusions, you place yourself back on your soul's purpose in the light of awareness, meaning you're aware of it. You're not just walking haphazardly. You're being intentional. You're being purposeful in your soul's journey. And then you're also redirecting. It's like, I was going over there, but no, I don't need to. After you walk through the halls of a mentee and you break free through these illusions, you get rid of the lack, the mind state of lack. You let go of those fears so that your ego's not being this overprotective whatever that is creating images, false images in your mind that you're holding on to. You're breaking all of that. And when you break that, not only is it a restoration of the soul's purpose, but it is a redirection, because you've been going in a direction that was in fear based and all this other stuff. So you redirect the soul. It is a recourse, and you redirect the soul to be obedient to the obedience of your soul unfolding journey according to spirit, as you have in your spiritual infinite self present yourself here for such a time as this. You remember what you have done in your spiritual choice. So remembering your soul unfolding journey, and it is through the diligence of what? Faith in your emerging consciousness. Faith in your emerging new and true consciousness that is coming through, going into the promised land, so to speak, stepping into that promised land, right? Peace, love, and light. Let me see who's there. Jones is what I see. Right, meeting these channels. Yes, ashe, ashe, ashe. Oh, you needing these channels. Well, this is the downloads I was getting. That's why I said let me share it with y'all. Who it's for, right? So the faith in the emerging consciousness. And when I saw that this is actually a third eye to throat activity, because the third eye is all about faith and seeing beyond and the unlimited possibilities. And the throat activity, the throat is about the emerging consciousness, right? That's why it says on the third day, land emerge, right? I'm speaking coming from manifestation, the creative process coming from the crown coming down, day 1, day 2, day 3, step 1, step 2, step 3, right? Let there be light, illumination, faith, separate the waters from the firmament. That's unlimited possibilities and unlimited potential. That's faith. Only faith can see beyond the horizon to see all unlimited possibilities and potentials. That is a faith faculty, right? And then the third day, third step is imagination. Imagination is the word for that, which is when land emerges, right? Through your images, you bring into form. Speak it and it shall appear, right? And so it is the emerging consciousness. That is the land that is emerging through this creative process. So when I saw that this is a third eye and third throat activity, and I thought I'd just throw that in and share that to you, whoever is working on this, that as have been walking through the halls of a mentee, as we're reflecting on this trinity of infinity, it is for us to understand, overstand, and understand the faith faculty and how we are to, emerge in our consciousness. It is faith and imagination that helps to bring things more into our reality, more into our existence. Faith, emerging consciousness. How are you imaging your world? Walking through the halls of a mentee is remembering your images. It is shattering the illusions of the images that you've been holding in falsities, right? So that the emerging consciousness, that the new images, the true images can form, that land that is coming up for you, that promised land, right? The prophet, the Moses in you that wants to take you to that promised land is there for you. But are you willing to let go? And I see this so many times. I'm seeing it through so many people as we're working through this. Are you willing to let go of those old concepts, right? So this is the last part. We are given opportunities with 3 times the energetic boost. So this 888 happening 3 times is saying that we are being given opportunities with 3 times the energetic boost to recourse and break the illusions in order to have a soul synapsis, right, within our memory complex and become part of the remembering in time. Do you remember the time? And there goes that song. Do you remember the time? Do you remember the time? This is about us being a part of the remembering, right? And I'm not just talking regular the word, I'm talking about remembering as in reconnecting. The soul synapsis is what is happening. This energetic boost is to recourse, to redirect, to reroute yourself. We're being that given that opportunity, not once, not twice, 3 times. Y'all pay attention to that number 3. So we are having this creative completion, meaning we're going through the first main gate portal, the 369 main gate portal, right? And it is to break these illusions, to have this soul synapsis. The soul synapsis is when the neurons, when there's a synapsis, the neurons are wiring and firing. So when you have a connection, when you reconnect, you remember, you're firing through your wires, right? Through the wire, through the fire, whichever way it go, right? Through the wire and through the fire. And it's to become a part of the remembering. You are here to be a part of the remembering every step of the way. You've come into this world, into the sea of forgetfulness, to remember every step of the way. What is the meaning of life? It's real simple. We're here to remember. We're here to be invested in our soul unfolding journey and remembering what we are here to do. When you remember, then you can know what karmic loops to get out of, right? When you find a pattern and you realize, oh, I'm here to transcend this, right? So do you remember the time? Because why? It is time. We are in some pivotal times right now. It is time. It is time to progress, right? To produce and to induce, to be less of consumers. Stop consuming so much. It is not about consumption. It is about being a producer, which means you lead forth, you lead forward, right? Induce as well, to lead within. Okay. Hey, Tika, I see you. Right? I released. Oh, what did you say? Oh, I needed this live. I see you. I miss our group. We will be meeting again tomorrow, our Starseed tribe. So don't forget, mañana, I'm gonna remind y'all in the group. Right? And this is really important. That's why I'm giving it. It is a message that is important. Now that I gave this message, and feel free to ask any questions you all want to ask while I'm here and while we go live, and share the information. After that, I ask the question through the higher ups, through the galactics, and whoever comes in. What happens to those who don't take advantage of this opportunity? And one of the answers that I got that came through was, for one, let's look at this. What we have done through the halls of Amenti and through the light work, a lot of light colonies have come online right now. Not just my light colony that I've been working with. There's other light colonies that are coming on the light grid. This is activating the light grid activation that much more. It is expanding, and it's helping to reach those who are in remote places. And I don't mean by location. I mean remote places where they're just not in touch with like-minded people and they're all by themselves. This is helping to get this to them that much more, the light colonies that are coming online. So one of the things that I was shown was that first and foremost, there has been a subtle influence and it is also ineffective, if that makes sense. There has been a subtle shift and influence in the world, though ineffective, meaning not that it's not effective at all, but very, very small effect, right? Due to all the light work that has been done with all the light colonies, all of those who have been doing this light work using this pivotal time. These energies are this pivotal time, and they've been using that, utilizing the Syrian star codes, the light that was coming in through the sun in Leo that was hitting and pinging on those, especially who have a natal chart with their Mars and Uranus that are in alignment. These are the ones who have been really tasked with doing the work, right? And other ones on other level, like the video I left previous before this was speaking to those who have a North Node and South Node in Cancer and Capricorn who were activated with the Grand Cardinal Cross last year. So there are people in different places being activated at different times for different reasons. This is the one for this time. And what is being said is all of us who are working on the light grid, who are doing any type of light work, whether individually and collectively, but it is more effective when it is collective, not but, and um, we have all helped to have this subtle, there has been I don't know how many of y'all are feeling it, but there is a subtle shift. There is a subtle influence, and I'm seeing it around us. And when I say subtle, I mean subtle, right? And it's very minimum influence, minimum effectiveness, right? And effective because not many are still able to change in the way to have a revolutionary change, which is what the Uranus is really helping us with. It was very pivotal. The Uranus has been very pivotal throughout this entire summer, through the Mars and Uranus conjunction, through the walking through the halls of Amenti, through the gate, as they call the Lion's Gate. It's been very pivotal, helping with this pivot. Also through the last full moon, because it was in alignment with the moon and the sun at 27 degrees, which 2 and 7 is the spiritual completion. So Uranus has been playing an important role in a revolutionary change. It's almost like Uranus is pulling us, y'all. It's like Uranus is like, come on, y'all tap in. Uranus is influencing so many people to make radical changes right now. So if you've made radical changes, and I just saw 3333, if you've made radical, 32, sorry, if you've made radical changes, know that Uranus is definitely influencing your chart, influencing you, and you are falling in alignment. If you've made a radical change and you don't know, you're like, why did I do this? You're falling in alignment. You have an innate, an intuitive spark to be in this light, to be in this place and in this space, right? So that's what's happened when I asked that question, is showing me that there has been a subtle change. Now, to answer the part about those who are not taking accountability, um, they have their course to work out, is what was being given. You know, it's like to each his own type of thing. What happens is they lose this opportunity, but there's always another and another opportunity, but people should not take that too lightly. We should take the opportunities as they're given because they help you in this now moment, to the best, right? Ability to take advantage of these light codes, to take advantage of the changes in this time so that you're not waiting to a later time. You get to kind of get ahead of it, right? You get the opportunity to get the energetic boost that you need. But however, those who don't get it, they will have to wait on another opportunity, and that too will come in time. But it shows that they're not willing and ready to a certain degree, is what was shown to me. They're just not that willing. Um, and they will have to find their patterns. They will have to find their karmic. They will have to pay keener sense, be keen and pay closer attention to the karmic loop that they're in. Um, they will continue to struggle in their karmic loop. If you have not broken the illusions, if you choose not to, you are inviting What was I shown? Bring it back to me, Spirit. There's going to be a reform, right? And don't fool yourself. Some of them will. Some of them will fool themselves, is what I'm being shown. There will be a change, but you're going to believe that you have changed for the better. But let me say this, and this is with strict warning and understanding. If you have not broken the illusions that you need to break, and then you change into something else, it's a reform. Let me put it that way. It is like a reform. You haven't actually changed in the way and in the light to recourse and really put your soul on the course that you need to. But what you have is almost like a doubling down. For those who have not taken advantage of the opportunity, they will double down because they're still caught in their illusions. Their Pharaoh is still ruling. The mind state of lack that breeds the fears that the ego is in a natural protective state of is going to keep you protecting those images, those illusions, in whatever way they show up. I'm speaking from big to small, right? No matter how they show up. I know people will make excuses. Don't let these excuses fool you. No matter how they show up, if you have not worked on breaking that illusion, then it reforms, meaning you redo the formation. That's all that changes, is you reform the formation that was already there. The illusion was that formation, and you're taking that formation and you're rewrapping it, regifting it. All you did was change the form of that formation, but that formation is still the same. So it is a reform. You didn't transform as in a true transformation, butterfly effect, true transformation, right? Instead, you reformed something. And then you may be fooled. Again, you're doubling down in the illusions, and you may be fooling yourself to say this is new. And this will happen to a lot of spiritual people. I'm being warned that and shown that. 15 and a 5. This will happen to a lot of spiritual people who believe that they are changing. But if you have not done the work, if you have not broken the illusion, if you have not had a true ego death, because that's how it should feel. You should feel this ego death, and you will feel a void, and you will feel a sense of grief, because when you lose stuff, right, even if it's not good for you, if it's what you're familiar with and you're familiar with walking with, even if it's unhealthy, when you lose it, it feels like a loss. It feels like a grief, right? A lot of us may think, oh man, I'm gonna be celebrating. We think that. And we may celebrate at first, like, yeah, I'm glad to get rid of it. But while you're sitting there, and I know this has happened to some people, while you're sitting there, it's like, okay, what do I do? You know, I'm used to this. You're used to certain things that came with that thing. And now that that thing is gone, there are certain things that were attached to it that you're used to that you no longer have. There is grief. So we have to prepare ourselves to process the grief. And when there's a void, we have to fill it immediately, not with junk, but with principles of truth. We have to grab our principles of truth and place them there. Have our affirmations ready. Confirm within yourself what is needed for your confirm. Use your prophet. Walk with your prophet. Part the Red Sea. We have to be willing to part the Red Sea. And for those who don't know what that means, let me metaphysically break that down for you right now. The parting of the Red Sea is, think of the sea metaphysically. The sea, the ocean represents water. It represents emotions. It is the emotional body. So we need to part our emotions, right? Red is for the root, and the root and the sacral are one and the same, right? The emotional body is the sacral. So sacral and root. The root is the lowest chakra, represents physical things. So again, we're talking about physical, sense consciousness, breaking the illusions of the physical. Do you see how that's being repeated? And so the root, it needs to be, we need to part. We need to part the Red Sea. So we need to part with those physical things emotionally. Part the emotions that are connected to these physical things, because the sacral and the root, right there, we have emotional attachments to the fears. The number one block of the root is fear. And that's why we got to let go of those things, right? And here we have the emotions, and this is a big ocean. So this means we have so much emotion. A big sea is a big space of emotions. You have so much emotional entanglement with these physical components that you have built illusions with. And I know this is not easy, but this is what must needs be done. My spiritual people, my star seeds, I'm speaking to those who are really eyes to see. This eye right here, I'm speaking from my third eye to your third eye, because you know what time it is in the third eye. And close these eyes right here. Stop letting the things that you see with these two eyes in the world, things that are on the news, things that your family tell you, things that anybody want to bring to you, to distract with these two eyes. This is the duality right here that we need to single eye, our first eye, third eye activity, activate it, right? And so this is what I'm seeing, that as was shown to me, if we don't do the necessary steps, we double down in our illusions. So take this 888, utilize this 888 portal. Look at what has been happening for the past 3 888s. What was going on the 8th, the 17th, the 26th. These are 3 portals. This is your portaling opportunity. Own this. After this, whoever's watching this, after you get this, go into a meditation. Go, if you haven't already done so, go into a meditation. Dismantle some fears. Picture yourself walking through the halls of a mentee. Play a meditation and picture yourself walking through those halls, getting the illusions that pop up and be willing to break them. Part with your things that you like. That's the problem. We are in our flesh, we're in our meat suit, and we just want what we like. We just want it. We just want to keep it. We want to have it, and we want what we like, and that's just it. Right? So it is for us to realize, recognize that we can't have those likes. They're distractions. Those are likes that are in your body, in your meat suit. Right? I know I call it the meat suit. So it is for us to recognize what these distractions are, right? And then go into our higher self, remind our soul. We got to remind our soul, you don't work for the body, right? The body works for you. Respect the body, but know that the body works for you. The body is to help you. It is the expression of our soul, and our spirit is to help indicate what's going on, find the patterns. But we're not supposed to be entrapment to our body, slaves unto our body. Our spiritual thoughts are enslaved onto our pharaoh thoughts and sense consciousness. I want us to really grab our mind around that. That slave is, and just like what I said about reform, think about this. Just like slavery, people think that slavery is over. It is not. It was reformed. There is no independence. When you think America has Independence Day and this and that, all these little countries that, no, they don't. They are still indebted to the queen. Just look at the dollars. The dollars will tell you whose dollar is stronger. The queen, right? That means they still owe money. They still owe taxes, or whatever they want to call it. However they set it up. Hey, it's their world. I'm in 5D, but I'm just explaining to you how the 3D world is working. They are not independent. They are in reform. And so it is with slavery. When they think slaves got their independence, no, they did not. They reformed the formation of slavery. You are walking around in an illusion of freedom. That's big. Like, we got to look at that right there. You are walking around in an illusion of freedom. You get up every day, you go to this job, that job, and you think it's a job of choice because they gave you choices. They gave you choices because they know people need to feel free and feel like they have choices. So they give you all these choices, but you're still funneled into what they want you to do for them. You're not free. You are slaves that believe that you are free, right? And I'm not speaking to my soul sovereign people like myself, because I know if you anything like me, you free. If like me, I don't subscribe. I don't subscribe to a lot of things in this world, so I am truly free no matter how crazy it looks to others, right? But if you think that you are free because you get to get up and go to do this when you feel like it, and I do that when I feel like it, No ma'am, no spam, no ham. It is an illusion of freedom, and you are still a slave in a different formation. Slavery has been reformed. Get that illusion and wake up with that. When you wake up every day and you think you're doing something for you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and they allot you some things. You get allotted vacation time. You get allotted some holiday breaks, and that's why you like the holidays, because it's a break off. You get to take time off. They give you that. These are all allotments that you're given in your slavery. We got to be honest with ourselves. Break out, get out, right? Let me see. Breaking free, yes, from the illusions. Don't want to regret. I'm trying to see it. The same cycles. Yes, this is what we don't want to live in, the same cycles over and over again. That's the karmic loop that we want to break out of. Seeing things in people more spiritually now, exactly, but still seeking to fully understand. I see what you're saying. And you're welcome. Peace. You're welcome. We're welcome. Right? So you're still keep walking on that journey and unfolding your spiritual journey. We're on a soul unfolding journey that your spirit already charted out the course. So everything that's coming to you, everything that you're going through, that you're challenged by, you set up in the course so that you can find the pattern and transcend it. Something I'm going to say to you all that I said to someone earlier today. It is for us to find the patterns, these challenges that come up. We are not to react. The thing is, in our human suit, we react. When things happen, we react. It is not for us to react. It is for us to recognize the pattern and then find the correct recourse. It is for us to find the pattern and have a correct response. There you go. In order to recourse our course. We have a course that's charted out, but we're supposed to find the pattern and then recourse the course. That's how you loop out. And that's how you become a part of the remembering. You remember, you have a soul synapsis, you realize and you realize with your real eyes, and you recognize something in this true time reality. And then you break out. And that is your soul's ascension and your soul's incline in the right way, not doubling down and having a soul that continues to incline in the karmic loop. Our job is to break out of the karmic loop. Right? I am that I am. Let me see what you said. Best way to keep a slave. Yes, male and female slave. Think as not a slave. Yes, the best way to keep them is to think that to have them thinking they're not a slave, which people are walking around thinking, hey, I'm free. That was in the past. No, that was physical slavery. And let me tell you, the physical slavery, I don't even want to say one is better, but at least in physical slavery, you a slave. The thing in non-physical slavery is it's an illusion, and you're a bigger slave because you don't even know that you're enslaved. So you're being pulled into doing this and doing that, but it just appears to be free. It's an illusion of freedom. Break that illusion, right? Make a slave is what they do. Yes. Making a slave. And we are slaves unto ourselves. Let me clarify this. I'm not just talking slavery out there. If you are still living in famine and believing in lack because you see lack with these two eyes, so you can't see abundance at all. If you're still living in that lack, then you are a slave unto your Pharaoh. You are a slave unto the set in your soul, that Setian energy that I spoke about before, right? You are a slave to the darkness, the dark matter that is having its grips on you, right? The parasitic energy that is intertwined in your spine, right? And your spine is your tree of sensation. And this is what that snake in the tree represents, because a snake just represents sensation. So you are a slave to that parasitic energy that is entwined in your spine, and things that you think and feel that you think are you are really induced, or however you want to call it, by the parasite. It is a suggestion that is coming through the parasite, but because you can't see that parasite and you don't know that you're enslaved to the parasitic energy, or the grays out there, the archon energies, the opposition, the database, all of that. And it knows all of you very well. You know how they say that the devil know the Bible? Yeah, because the Bible is the book of life within you. So opposition knows you because you wear it all on your sleeve. Every time you have an unhealed wound, you're loosing, and it's out there. It ain't a secret. Nothing is a secret anymore, right? So anywho, I say all of that, I'm free balling now, like spirit just taking me wherever with it. So let me wrap this up because I know this is long. But yeah, this is the 888 portal. Y'all get in that 888 gate. Take what you could take from it. Look at what your trinity of infinity is through the receptive completion. Let me say this before I go, because I didn't speak much on that when I say through the receptive completion, because the days, the number in this day adds up to 6, right? 24, which is 2 and 4, 6. So again, I'm hearing the echo of receptive completion, as you probably have heard me talk about, which is the second main portal gate, right? The 369. So we're doing this through receptive completion, means we need to be receptive. We need to activate that feminine energy. Something else I told someone today, that receptive activity, that receptive completion is feminine energy. Those are the qualities of the feminine energy. I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about energy. The masculine energy is creative and the feminine energy is receptive, right? The masculine energy is about doing, making decisions. The feminine energy is about understanding, receiving, the memories. All of that is feminine energy. So we are to utilize our receptive activity. And if we are truly embodying the sixth dimensional aspect of receptive completion, when we are existing in the knowing, right, then we are able to, in this receptiveness, regain access to this infinite existence in the knowing, right? Knowing what you know. And who feels it knows it. We got to know it and we got to feel it. And we got to feel it to know it. So allow your feelings to be your feelings are your receptors. Thank you. Please stop blocking your feelings. I don't know who this is for, but please stop blocking your feelings. Your feelings are your receptors. And when you receive them, then you can be able to know what's really true, not what you tell yourself. I'm not talking, don't let your ego pimp your feelings, which is what happens. Feel the feelings and allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to step into a place of humility and know the role that you really play and put that ego down. If not, we're going to let our demons continue to run amok, y'all. And I'm going to do another video speaking about that because I'm seeing a lot of demons on the loose, evil on the loose, that parasitic energy just on the loose. The Lucius on the loose, like I've been saying before, right? So if we don't tighten up, again, those who don't take the opportunity, that's what you run the risk of. You run the risk of doubling down and allowing your unhealed wounds, whether in this lifetime or the previous lifetimes that have been compounded, to run amok. And you'll be demon dancing everywhere you go under the disguise of goodness, because y'all are dibbling into the reform. Spiritual people who are thinking that they're reforming, but they think they're changing, but they're reforming, right? Because they have not dealt with their unhealed wounds, but they think they have. And those are the dangers that we run. No one is evil per se, but we are susceptible to the parasitic energy. We are susceptible to the evil and therefore co-signing with the works of evil. Least we do better. Least we know thyself, right? And I'm seeing 7-7 right now. Man, at first I was seeing 5-5. Now I'm seeing 17-7. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the love and the likes. There was 5 and now there's 7. With 17 that are here with us. And that's the 8, the 7 and the 1. So there's the 8 again. That's confirmation of the infinite existence. Okay, I discovered how my reality was being hijacked. Thank you for getting the message. Much love. We're welcome. Anything that makes us go boom, let that light bulb pop up, I'm here for it. This is what I'm here to share the messages for, and I'll keep doing it. Each one reach one, teach one. We light each other up. These are the codes. I'm getting the codes. I'm giving you the codes. And through that information, your codes are like bing, bing. It's already in you. But when I say something that hits that, the light codes in me hits the light codes in you. And then it confirms. This is why they say where two or more agree. It's a confirmation that becomes an affirmation in your soul. And so it is. Right, so I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you all for coming through, um, doing what you do. Remember, please remember to like, subscribe, share. Thank you for leaving the comments. You can leave the emojis. Um, all 16 that are here, if you feel like that you can right now, go ahead and hit that like button, because it does help expand expand the bandwidth of this light grid activation that we're working on to reach those in remote places that need to hear the word that is going to help their light codes go ping. So if you can, while you're here with me now, if you haven't already done it, just hit that like button. Thank you. I see y'all. I see. We here. We here. We live and vibing. Right. So with that said, let me see. Do I have anything? So what happens when we reach the highest dimension? Ooh, that's a good question. The dimensions are infinite. So we just keep going, right? The dimensions actually go 1 through 9. I love these kind of questions. I love dimensional conversations. We are multidimensional beings. So it goes 1 through 9, right? This is why I call it the infinite 9. But there are more. But what happens is you cycle into the next cycle. So for example, after the 9th dimension, you go, it's almost like you spiral up to the next level, and then you go back to 1. So what is considered the 10th dimension is really 1 again. And the 11th dimension is really 2 on the next cycle. So this is what we do infinitely. We've been doing this in our infinite lifetime, and we do it even in our minds. Like, don't just think of dimensions as I'm in this dimension right now. Even as I'm in, let me explain it like this. Even as we are in, the earth is in the 5th dimension, right? Even as the earth is in its 5th dimension, it's like worlds within worlds within worlds. Stick with me. Even as the earth is in 5th dimension, I myself have moved and ascended to a 7-dimensional being, right? My overall holistic soul may be at a 4th or 5th dimensional level of my whole soul. In our mind's consciousness, we're constantly moving through the dimensional timelines in our soul, right? So there's this, are you at this dimension? Are you at that dimension? Even as you hear me mention the number codes of the day, it kind of highlights the dimensional guidance. Like, so for today, it's 6. So the dimensional code for today is 6-dimensional activity. So it reminds us to be in our receptive completion. It highlights, it guides us to be receptive, right? That's following those numerological codes that helps you to allow the dimensional guidelines to guide you, right? And then we're constantly in our soul's unfoldment, moving through these dimensions. So I may be doing something in my life, working through a certain situation, and maybe I'm at 3, creative completion. As I continue to unfold with this particular situation, I will elevate to 4 and to 5 and to 6 to 7 until I get to the ninth spiritual completion of that particular situation, and then I spiral up into the next level, and then you begin again, right? Faithfully, that has shed some light. That it's levels to it, right? It's definitely not a one-dimensional answer. And it's understanding it's like worlds within worlds. So it's like dimensions within dimensions, right? Does that make sense? I'm in a very high place now. My stimulation is having a hard time collaborating with me. Okay. Ground if you can. You're in a very high place. We still need to ground. So I have to do it too. When you're in a high place, take some time to just sit in a meditative space. When you can, sit with a tree, get in the earth, ground yourself, drink some water, some alkaline water, eat some alkaline foods, do things that are just really grounding, right? Because sometimes we're really, really high and we need to tether ourselves a little bit, right? Not to be in the ways of the wayward world, but to tether ourselves to have some harmony with the physical spiritual balance, right? So although you're high and up in some high places, still ground yourself. Take some deep breaths, because breathing is also the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. So just take some deep breath, be barefoot in the ground, do some type of light language meditation or regular guided meditation. And you're in a high place, so I know you get some of these guidance too. I'm simply reminding you of the grounding aspect, so that we're having a harmony and a balance with the high spiritual, the vibrations that are high up here. We want to have a balance with the physical components, harmonizing, if that makes sense, right? So faithfully, I answered the question about the dimensional aspect. How is that working for you? How is that working for you, Fred? Is it, as you're in high places, is it hitting? Is it pinging? Does it make sense um, on what happens when we reach? Basically, did I answer what happens when we reach that highest dimensional aspect? Okay, we're welcome. We're welcome. You got it. So, with that said, thank you all for being here. Enjoy the rest of your 888 portaling through. Um, each one reach one, teach one, as I always say, and we teaching and reaching right now. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out, and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. In your light bodies, in your crystalline bodies, you light star seeds that you are. With that said, peace, love, and light. Yes, you can send me an email. Feel free to do so. Peace, light bodies.